get tons of questions each week on just how to operate business, typically, and we wanted to focus the next series masterclass on topics that can help you actually be a more successful business owner. And for us, that means more time. As a business owner, we handle so many things. So if we were looking at things and is that a scalable or system way, it allows us to create more time, more freedom, and be a healthier, happier business owner because we're able to do more things than just run our business. So that's where this masterclass came from. Brief about me is I started an events company a little over 11 years ago, and it grew into a pretty large events company in the area. COVID happened, events changed. I also changed in the way that I wanted to do business. It was primarily a sales direct business, not a value-based business, and that was the number one thing that I wanted to change. So that happened, and we started to still do events, but also become a branding and marketing agency over the last 3 years, and then that's what we've been working on. David and I started chitty-chatting over COVID and doing master classes, so we were able to really ignite a passion of helping other business owners and teaching you guys to, like we talked about, just be a more successful business owner and whatever that means for you. So then the things that we talk about today, will you hit the next slide for me? It's all about, is that scalable? That's like the number one question you want to ask yourself. And is it your brand message, right? Who are you talking to? When we focus on asking ourselves questions about our business, we learn more about our business, what we want it to be instead of what it is today. Because I was 10 years into an event business that towards the end, I couldn't really stand. I couldn't stand the way I did business any longer. It just completely consumed me because what we were doing was not scalable. It was all forcible action. And then we're going to learn best practices on setting up online marketing platforms. David is going to cover that for us today. A couple other things you're going to get. It's going to be 3 and 4, which is learning how to create communication funnels, because you have to communicate with your customers the way you want to communicate. Just because businesses have phones, email, fax, social media, this, that, it doesn't mean that all of that has to be your communication with customers. You can direct them exactly the way you want to communicate. And then you're going to gain one-on-one feedback from our peers here today, online, as well as David and I. And we've been in business for a long time. We help business owners, guide them through brand development and strategies and things that are going to help create system. So it's not you're coming into tasks every single day. It's more I'm double checking to make sure things are going out. It's a completely different feeling. So what do we got next? I've told you a little bit about myself. I started out with an events business. It was called Simply Events, and I've done some brand development along the way. It's now simplypromotions.marketing. I primarily work with different clients to help them develop their brand in different ways. I'm also known as like a promotions queen, so I create promotions and on-sites and just different excitement, and I create attention, really. I teach people how to do attention-based marketing, and it works. David, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself since we're doing the bios and stuff? Go
I go real quick.
I like to
So my name is David. I own an agency called DCA Media Consulting. So I've been doing it since 2016. This class in particular is something that I love very much because I am at the heart a solopreneur, right? It has just been me and my business. So there's a lot of things that I've had to figure out. How can I make my life in general, business life and everything, as easy as possible? So part of what I do is obviously it's digital marketing, it's content creation, that's video, photos. So a lot of things that I've had to do, I had to do by myself. So I've had to look into systems that kind of work for me to multiply myself. So that's why this kind of class is very exciting. It's something a little bit different, because I'm sure maybe you all may have employees, you may not have employees, but even on a small team, automation, these kind of systems are really important to make your life a little bit easier, because it's very easy to get bogged down by everything. So that's a little bit of my background. That's what we're going to kind of cover today. I won't go too much into it, but let's just kick right into your
Yeah. It was an interesting start today with the Zoom, so, we'll get more into it. I apologize. I feel a little flat, and I had so much energy when I came in this morning, and then I was like, oh my God, tech issue, and I'm like, ugh, because that's what stresses me out as a business owner, because I am not a techie person. I surround myself around creators for a reason, because I need their help and I need their support for my business to run better. I know I'm not a techie person. I know my weaknesses. I know my strengths, and I'm a guide to help people get there. And I know that's what I'm supposed to do today. So, and that's what brings us into helping guide you through systems and automations. So the other page was also about a check-in, which we'll do afterwards, because I know we're already pressed for time and most of our people are on Zoom today. But after the class, I'm going to do a post with everybody's business handle that gave it to me. Okay, and I'm going to just double check everybody's business handle. Let me know if it's on Instagram or Facebook, and this is for everyone, including our folks on Zoom. We're going to take a fun photo, the 5 of us, before we get started, and Miss Mio is going to do it. But we're going to also tag everybody. So that's going to be our social aspect. What I encourage you to do out of that, you're going to see these 6, 7, whatever it is, tags. I don't know how many people are online. Follow them. Engage with them. Because why? You are like the 5 people you surround. Who are you surrounding yourself around? So how do you want to be a better business owner? So for me, I'm all for people who want to network and support each other. So if you want to do that, follow. I would do the same with my platforms for you guys. And that's what we should all do as a group. And that's how we become a super force, right? Because we have people behind us who want to support us and get there together, right? Because we can all win. It's not a competition anymore. We're going to dominate together. So this is the biggest question. Actually, let's take our picture before we get in, right?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I'm going to break it up. Come on, let's move around, get the energy flowing back in us before we get our brains working. Those Zoom folks at home, go ahead and get up, move around, do a little dancey shake, and then we're going to get into it.
Yeah, you guys
Yeah.
can
Okay.
We'll do a vertical. And that was a video. All right.
Thank you, Miss Mia. Thank you, guys.
Of course.
And I'll have that up this afternoon.
Do you want to see what they do? Give a little
Yeah.
intro.
It helps me break up and get into my vibe. They remind me. We also talk about like what everybody else does before getting started, so we know a little bit more on how to help you, and then we can also direct what we're talking about, like in your industry a little bit. So let's learn a little bit more about who's here and also who's online. If you guys want to drop that in the comments, we'll read it to everyone. And we'll start with you, sir.
Sure. My name is Jonathan Brown. I am a financial advisor with Edward Jones. I actually live pretty close to here. I really service more northward, kind of the Pasco market. So
Okay.
really my customers are a lot of people who are business owners, brand new people looking for retirement, if you have kids. Pretty much who actually wants to ever retire or send kids to college or wants to save money are my clients. So
Okay.
pretty much trying to find a way to, like I said, automation is great for me because there's so much that I do on a regular day. As far as growing the business, I would love to be able to have marketing be something that is very much automated for me.
Awesome. Do you know who your perfect customer is today? Or your customer you talk to?
My niche, if you will, is real estate professionals, as realtors, title people, mortgage people, and also insurance space. So property and casualty, life insurance. Those are really my 2 niches, but honestly, I can help any business out there.
Okay. I heard families are like saving for college, and so
Yes.
that for me, that was like, I always hone in on who to talk to, so.
Absolutely. Because there's so many that's out there, obviously, there's a lot of, you hear a lot of fluff that goes on as far as out there, and really what my job is to kind of help you define your goals for you. You know, obviously you hear about sponsoring this, make sure other business. That's great. My goal is to sit down with you and really determine really where you want to be, what you want to achieve, and between myself and people that we don't, we'll figure out the rest for you.
I like it. Thank you. And what about you, ma'am?
Hi.
Hi. Welcome.
And I'm Daphne. It depends which hat I'm wearing in a second.
So true.
Part of the chamber, I have a nonprofit. I founded it. It's called Unbroken Dreams. And we help people who are coming out of incarceration and people who are living on the streets to get from dependency on the system to self-sufficiency. And
That's wonderful.
thanks, it's a lot of work.
I bet. But thank you.
I'm 2 years into it. And then I also have another business. I'm a real estate agent, so I am pretty involved in that, and that takes a lot of time. So yes, I am a very super busy person.
So everybody go on and follow Unbroken Dreams. Unbroken Dreams. What a
So,
wonderful mission.
David was talking about simplifying things and having processes, and I still need that.
We all do, just to make you feel better. Even us standing up here today, I suffered from it yesterday. So I had to slow down and actually create this vision plan of how I wanted to communicate on this customer funnel, right? But I had to settle myself and calm myself to the point where I could even do that to create the plan. And we had to do these worksheets and we're like, ah! Oh, I feel you.
Yeah, sometimes it's just so chaotic and you can't even think.
They said, I was listening to things on the way here, and it talked about, clarity and calm is needed so you can focus. So sometimes we have to take that time out so we can gain the clarity and the calm before we hop into the next hat, as you said. And that's a great way to put it, because as solopreneurs, we wear so many hats. We're the CEO, we're the technician, and we're the manager. And on the bottom of my worksheet, a helpful resource that helped me really change the way I thought about business in general was the E-Myth by Michael Gerber. It breaks it down on what do you want to be each day. Do you want to be the technician? Do you want to be the manager? Or do you want to be the CEO? And then you have to create the vision and plan on how you're going to get there. Fun game on the worksheet. Fun game. It's hit me in the face when I did this, and I actually created this morning, if I'm being honest. Because I was listening to the book for inspiration on my way here, because it's one of the reasons why this workshop, I think, happened. For me, how do you spend most of your time in your business? Surviving, being the technician, being the manager, or being the CEO? How much time, I love that we're starting with these questions first, actually. How much time do we spend a month thinking instead of doing? That's the CEO hat, right? How do we get there? How much time do I need every week for clarity? Do I know how my brain works best for my business? For me, I have to handle the most important thing in the morning or I'm not going to do it. That big beast breathing down my neck. We all have one. I need to handle that right away. I feel so much better about my day if I handle that right away. I'm talking to myself better. Oh, you handled that. You're such a queen. You did that. You're amazing. Keep going, keep going, keep going, right? If I don't handle that, I let it breathe on me all freaking day long. And by the end of the day, I don't feel like going to dance. I don't feel like talking to friends. I don't feel like doing anything. So this is bigger than system and automation. We're talking about getting energy back in ourselves and our lives and in our business. And how we do that is creating these healthy habits and becoming the CEO like we wanted to be. Because when we started the business, we did not imagine ourselves creating social media posts every day. We did not imagine ourselves struggling to get even that post out. I worked on it for 2 hours. I'm not even going to put it out now. I can't. I don't even like it. I just wasted 3 hours of the day because I'm not prioritizing. If I write out my list first, this is like a bonus thing, I guess. It's not even on here. And I start making bilateral decisions, I'm going to make the priority decisions. I put the star. I only can handle 3 things in a day. I know that about myself. How many things can you handle a day and actually show up for? So then we're going to start talking about the actual systems and automation. So as a business owner, creating time for ourselves is priceless. David Alvarez quote. Thank you very much. David was my coach first before we started working together. Actually, a clip in his bio that hopefully you'll get to see for our Simply Pros that comes out is the very first masterclass that David ever took. He looks like a baby, and you see my face like
There's a lot more
in the
there's a lot
corner.
less gray.
That was pre-rotary.
And children. Yeah.
So ask yourself, is that scalable? Oh, I'm just going to do that. Who does that? It's going to be better if I do it. If I do it, it'll be faster. I'm going to do it right. What other sayings do you give yourself excuses for so you don't stop, pause, and make it scalable?
Takes too long to train somebody else.
Ugh, that's why I don't have an assistant today. And I'm still making social media posts right now after my assistant left. See how we hurt ourselves and we don't even realize it? Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. I just thought that was awesome when I looked up time quotes to do this. So true. If I create a communication funnel and I think about who am I talking to, and I create that funnel with ease to end where I want it to end at a Calendly, to schedule a meeting, which clearly says it's going to be a 15-minute discovery call, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be this time and date. What did you have to do to get it there? You created the landing page. You thought about how that communication was going to happen. You thought about where you wanted to send the person. And you thought about how you wanted to communicate after with the meeting. So what do you need to make all of that happen, right? You need like 3 different apps to make that happen. And then you connect them, and it automates response for you. Follow the 3 S's. Pause, strategy time. Strategy time does not have to be alone. If you do not know how to strategize and create proper planning, hire someone. There's business consultants that love to develop brands. I'm hungry for it. I'm your biggest cheerleader. You can't tell me one bad thing about my brands. I said this to David yesterday. I love them. Find somebody like that because they're going to lift you up every single day. And when that bad review comes in, because it probably will, maybe it might be from an employee, maybe it might be for some rando who just wanted to leave a 1-star review. It doesn't affect you as much because you know who you are as a brand, or you have a mentor, a coach to help get you there, right? So strategy is so important, and then support. So everything that my business has a service for, I have a creator for that, so I don't have to do it. If I want to be super effective, I also have a strategizing assistant. I currently don't have one. I'm being very open about that because one's going to find me. Schedule. And then I'm going to schedule everything out. Everything I freaking possibly can, schedule it out. You don't have to worry about it. I'm here right now. I have 6 clients. Every social media post went out. I don't have to check it. I know it. Peace of mind for my daily tasks and routines so I can be the CEO. No peace of mind. I'm going to leave here like a frantic technician, not even going to put the post up I promised you guys about. Oh, I got to get to work. I've lived that for 10 years. The more time you have, the more time you have. Another David Alvarez quote. We enjoy each other, but it's so true. And this stuff that we talk about, it still hits us in the face because, again, you are the 5 people you hang around. So I wanted to make my business where I could do it from anywhere so I could travel and do whatever I wanted. It took me 1.5 years to do that, but I can do that today, right? So the time to me was super valuable because I wanted to be able to travel, but if I didn't automate my business, I could not do that. It makes me a better business owner to do what I fills my cup, right? So I just wanted to add that in there about time because it's not just about having time for your business, it's about having time for yourself because you're a better business owner if you make time for yourself. And this is how you do that. Control the conversation. The communication funnel, we've talked about it a little bit. You are the only one who knows what that looks like for your business and for your customers. So, we're going to go to the next page, and now we're going to get down to what the apps are that can help you do these things. So, the feeling of knowing your daily to-dos are taken care of is priceless. It's so true. Let's discuss options to create standards. Let's all say that word. Standards. Standards! Guidelines! Standards! Guidelines! But that's what makes you a happy business owner. I had to create a standard this week for my business, right? It's going to continuously happen, but in the beginning, if I think about how do I want my company to communicate? Let's talk about company communication apps. You have simple email, but what else? How does your company currently communicate?
We use Teams a lot, obviously phone calls, text back and forth, emails, like some email, of course. I say primarily Teams.
Teams.
Yeah.
So that's a great app. And so right now what we're doing, just to identify, we're talking about company communication. So if you don't have a system for company communication, like write these apps down, right? Because this can help you get there. Yes, email is a great one. Teams is a great one. Does anybody else have an example of systems for company communication that we can put in place?
Discord?
I can rattle off some.
What did you say?
Discord?
Discord.
Yeah, it's a community.
Okay.
Slack is very good.
Slack is very popular. Is Slack free?
Yes. There is a paid plan, but most would be free.
How about anybody online? Anybody use current communication for their team that they love? We like making suggestions of free apps here so you can test it out and start it. Trello is another board you can use for company communication. Ooh, okay. Google Chat. I haven't used Google Chat yet. That's a good suggestion. And most companies have Google or Microsoft, email system. So that's like a free service if you already have a Google system, which is great. I like to keep things in the same realm if I can. So if I have Google emails, like why don't we use all of those tools? When you go into Google and you see those like 9 dots that can expand to 16 dots, y'all know what I'm talking about in your Google My Business. If you don't, then David's going to tell you all about Google My Business. But it has all these apps you can use that are free that comes with the service. So then company planning. What do you currently use apps company planning? I use Trello. It's a free board. It's a vision board, basically. It's wonderful for creatives, marketing departments, creating social media calendars because it's very colorful and you can add your own twist to it. It has columns, so it's almost Excel-like. And then you can add cards underneath each column. Planning, right, so your team can see what they're supposed to be doing. I can also put position hats in Trello and record myself on looms so they know exactly what to do. You can do this for clients. I use Trello for clients. Asana is another one. It is not a free app, only a free trial. And then Monday is another one. It is not a free app, but has a free trial. So all of those apps can be used for company planning, but also company communication, along with the other apps that we talked about. Slack is a great one for company communication. I hear a lot of people use that, but also WhatsApp, right? WhatsApp can be used. So, and what we're doing is just identifying things that we can streamline, we can create a system around, and now this is the standard of how my business does this. Period. Blame it on standard and policy. I do all the time because it's mine. That's how I create my business boundaries, is through standard policy guidelines. So, automate platform chatbots. That's part of your communication funnel. Somebody reaches out to you on Facebook, you can have an automatic message come back to them. You decide what that automatic message is. You can right away, because I think you can actually change the messages now based on people's responses because AI, right, is so popular. So they say they're looking for your new classwork, and the AI picks up, oh, classwork. It's going to send them to that page on my website is the message I'm going to send back because they're wanting that information. I technically don't have to respond to this message because my automated bot did that for me. I'm of course going to, have myself or whoever you have in that position look at the messages to make sure no additional need is there, but you can set chatbot up on almost every platform. Every single platform you're on. So if you're responding to everything, why? Right? You can, some of these, like if I get high number of stuff in about it, for Instagram, for example, so if I can get an automatic response back on Instagram, I obviously don't do that on event day because people have additional questions like what happened with the Zoom link. But I know when I need to be really present with my communication on my different platforms. And then I also know I'm secured with an automatic response. But again, in that response, you can direct people where you want them to go. If there's a page on your website or landing page that has more information about what your current offers are or what you're trying to do, then you can just literally send them straight there. Because that's what they want anyways. Marketing is a big one. You can automate your marketing to have pop-ups on your website to grow your marketing list. So you can automate to grow and you can automate to respond. What are some apps that we can use that are great for this, right? I use MailChimp. I also use Constant Contact. Neither of those services are free. I don't know of any email services that do both of those things, but if anybody does, please share them with us, because that's valuable information, because of course we always want to keep the cost down if we can. Some apps are worth cost, don't get me wrong. I personally believe MailChimp is worth the cost. It's where I direct all my clients to. We build landing pages, we build email campaigns, and everything can be automated. Why on an email campaign as a little bonus? It's long form content. Social media is short form, right? So you want to kind of build your long form way you communicate and also your short form way you communicate. So email is a great way to do that with email marketing. Questions so far?
With email marketing, I've kind of seen both sides of the coin. You recommend embedding like a small video where you're doing email marketing? I've kind of heard pros and cons about that. I want to get your thoughts.
You're talking to a room full of video creators, so we are always going to tell you to include video.
Yeah, and your business is essentially you.
Yeah.
Right, as a financial planner. So, it's a great way to have an extra connection with a potential customer or a client, right? That they can see your face, see you talking, whatever. So it's just more of a personal touch. if you will. There's plenty of people, I know plenty of people in your field that also will include some like FAQs, right? Frequently asked questions, so that you don't have to answer those questions. So, right, we're talking about automation, like, all right, I am going to shoot a couple of the random questions that you probably will have when we start working together.
Right.
And what does that do? It gives them a great experience up front. All my questions are being answered. What's great for you is you don't have to answer them. You have them all set, recorded. You can put that in there.
Right.
So yeah, I would say if you can, it'd be something that's probably worthwhile, right?
And you recommend in particular, because I know there's, like, you can't, right, just record it and drop it into Google. I know there's a couple different, I think sites you can go to, you can use where they will embed the video inside them. Any recommendations on which ones would be best for them to use?
It's really, I mean that, you know, when you talk about like best, it's like really like personal, it's whatever works for you. There's so, let's say like, oh, there are so many different apps and websites.
Right.
You just gotta find one that works in your system. You can always have the big ones, you know what I mean? Listen, you can put videos onto YouTube, which will double for, you know, helping you get fined. Because if someone's maybe looking up, you know, stuff about a particular thing that you offer, like financial services, they may stumble upon your video anyway.
Right.
So it's doing double duty. It's hosting your video. You can easily embed it on a website, send the link in an email, and then also gives you that extra searchable on Google, right? Because it's going to find it there. So, you know, you can just use the big platforms like that, just post it. Just keep it.
YouTube makes it really simple.
Yeah, it's just, you know, whatever, you know, what for us, and a lot of this is just like, at the heart of it is like simplicity, right? Because you can go off the rails with these. Like, you could like have like 50 apps, right? But like, just focus on the core ones that make your life easier, especially at first. So that, like Sonia says, you're not in the weeds, right? You're being the CEO. You're actually working, not just focusing on, all right, I have to manage 50 apps now, make sure everything is all working together. Just keep it simple up front.
These are the mains. When you start to gain control of this, you are starting to gain control of your business. It's just simple as that. And I've seen it so many times with the clients that I help and everything. They'll be stuck midway, you know, in between starting video, for example. Because it's a big leap when you start video. If you're adding things, you're now adding YouTube, so you can put things on your website because your website has to connect to something too, right? But then also doing video takes some time. It's an investment. We're talking about a value content funnel, really, with video. And so it's more longer term. You're building value. So how he said, go to your 4 facts of FAQ, I already know that. I'm giving that to you. So let's get down to the brass tacks. This is what it's really about. So that, you know, that's what I heard when he said that, because now you're the authority. You're giving away this FAQ. You're not even making them watch the video for that. You know, so in the video, you're really introducing who you are, but the value is already in the email with your FAQ. So they see it. It's like see dog, hear dog, say dog. I now think you're the authority in financing because you're giving me all of this free information. You introduced yourself. I like your vibe. I'm closer to contacting you. It takes how many contacts to close a customer?
7 to 10.
That's what they say. Measure it yourself. What if you got that down to 2? You can do that. They say it takes 7 to 10. Measure it yourself. It doesn't take 7 to 10 touches to close people on the promotions online for me. But I know that because I'm looking at my insights. Where do you lose people in the video? Break it down. Did I get, the first 3 seconds is the hardest to get over. You know, that's a whole other conversation. We could talk about video all day. We're like, but it really makes you start to think now, right? I'm providing value, I'm connecting, and I'm controlling where they land. That's the first step. You can automate all of your marketing. This entire section over here, we're going to go over to automate your marketing. We're going to do it quickly because we can kick to David soon. And then we're going to do the automated leads and meetings. Calendly, right? Calendly is a free service that you can add to anything onto your contact form on your website. Your contact form on your website can just go to you and they're going to get an email, right? Or it could go to you, you can get an email, you can have a back-end system that captures that lead. I use HoneyBook. Then that lead then kicks to a calendar, and then schedule a discovery call with me right away. They can't leave the system, so it's a big commitment for somebody. Like, I'm gonna talk to you if you're on here filling out my contact form, because it kicks you to my calendar. I decided on Tuesdays and Thursdays I take those calls in between 12 to 5. You see how I control my communication and I control my time? That's when I do my discovery calls, period. But you see how it's all set up, so all I have to do is show up for the meeting, and that could be an assistant that had to do all of that. Instead, I pay $89.99 for those 2 apps that do that a month. Saved money. I don't have a receptionist waiting to answer a phone call to schedule a call for me, right? Apps do that. Questions? Okay. I hope I didn't lose any of my online people. If you guys have any questions or suggestions for those apps, just let us know. And so then for marketing, my marketing planning, I do first. I'm going to do that in an app. It's going to lay it out for me. I use Trello again. It's free. And it works great. If you need help with this, we can create you a template, right? You don't have to do that alone. Brand messaging and copy. There's so many AIs out there. You need to spend some time on your brand messaging, but you can get copy on so many different apps. Recently, we started playing around with Jasper AI. Is there anybody else playing around with copy apps? It's kind of the new thing, like AI, period, right? Anybody?
Chat GPT.
Chat? Not yet? Okay. Play with, I'm telling you, this is going to change your life as a solopreneur entrepreneur. Like, when I started playing around with Jasper AI, I write 80 posts a week, okay, for people. 80. That's how many I put out. I'm either creating that copy on my own, or I can use an AI service to do that. What do you think is going to save me time? Now I take my copy from previous weeks that I wrote months, and I plug it in there, and it's cutting out 2 weeks of copy for me. Right? You can do that with emails. You can, it literally, you can do it for video, you can do it for SEO, you can do it for social media. You get in there, it asks you what you're doing it for and where you want to create the template for. And then you set the tone of voice to be like more like you. So there's these time-saving things, and we talked about the post that never went out. I can't even tell you how many business owners I've talked to that struggled to create a post and never even put it out because they couldn't think of copy. I shit you not. A lot. And I know that resonates with people. Now you don't have to, you have a guide. Create a guide for yourself for everything. And it's going to get easier. Then you can schedule your marketing. I use Loomly. It is not the cheapest, but I find it to be the most consistent and the best. Loomly can post on Google, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. And there's like 6 more, but I don't use them and I can't think of their names. So that's how many things that one auto poster can post to for you. Again, you then take your marketing and you put it in Loomly and you click all of these options and it's just going to go out for you. You have to know your content and you have to know your copy before you get there. Email marketing, we already talked about just a dash, and then your website and landing page. Now the website and landing page comes right into here with your automated leads and meetings and things, and that's what you want to think about. Same thing here, these connect. So, and I know I've ran over a little bit, so does anybody have any questions? And I'm just going to hand it right over to David. Most important thing to think about is these are the company communication, company planning, how to set up your chatbots, your email marketing, and your leads, right? How you meet people. If you start to get control of those things and you just start one at a time, I guarantee you probably already have control out of 3 of those things, right? So start grading yourself. And I'm going to do pretty good on this. This is a B. Start with the F's and the D's. Start with the ones that really are getting to you. So then before I head out, I gave you my resource to help you start thinking more like the CEO, which is the E-Myth, right? I highly suggest it. Listen to it a couple times. First time I listened to it, it was gibberish. I was like, what is he even talking about? Okay? And then when you're creating something, is that how can I scale that? Start to ask yourself that question. So even if we just get that out of today, if you start thinking like that, you're going to start thinking easy, save time, simple. Easy, save time, simple. How can I create it that way so it's manageable and sustainable, really? Right? You shouldn't hate what you're doing. If you are hating something, get support with it. Hire it out. You can do that today. And then ask yourself these questions here on the bottom a couple times when you go into creating any one of these. And any one of these can be a product launch too. It doesn't have to, necessarily, you can take this, what you've learned today, and apply this to any single one thing you're doing, which is the strategy, making sure the support system is in place, and scheduling it out so you don't have to do it real time. Because I'd much rather be at dinner, at dance class, traveling, than work freaking out that my emails aren't going to go out or I missed that meeting. That's the worst feeling in the world. But if I have an automated calendar, I know I didn't miss anything, right? So give yourself some security. Also give yourself a freaking huge hand on the back for showing up today. And thank you for letting me blab on for as long as I did. I'm going to pass it over to David.
Okay, so we're going to talk about your online profiles. Why does this matter, right? So in the sense of automation, right? So a lot of people, when you talk about automation, you talk about your business. A lot of people think like, well, it's going to do all the work for me. That's not necessarily true, right? As a business owner, especially when you have a small team and you're a solopreneur, you have to take the time to set up the foundation for these apps and these automations so that they work in your favor. So it's like having an employee, right, that you don't necessarily have to continue to train, right? So you need to take some time. So two things that are kind of important that seem redundant, but I'm going to tell you a story. So we have Google My Business and Meta for Business. Is everyone here on Google My Business? Yes or no?
No.
Perfect. Good. So
It's going to be life-changing.
it will. Okay. So Sonia, if you will go to the next one for me.
Sure.
So I'm going to tell you a quick anecdote. Okay.
Maybe.
Just scroll up. Yeah. Just go ahead. No,
I can't scroll. Oh my goodness.
just click on there and then scroll. No, you're good. No, here. Just click right here and then just to the finger. Right. So I got a phone call maybe a month or two ago. Why am I not showing up on Google? It's a very weighted question, right? There's a lot of factors that go into it. So I go, let's start with the simplicity of, right? So they were a business owner, and they have a very unique type of business, which are sound bowls. I don't even know what that was when she was talking. I'm like, I don't even know what that is. And I said, well, what's your company, whatever, what do you have? And she explains everything. She's like, I'm just not showing up. I made my website. I did all the little SEO in the background. I go, do you have a Google My Business profile? She goes, what is that? And I go, oh, okay. Well, very, very simply, you register your business through Google, and all the steps are here, by the way. So we don't have to talk about the steps. It's in your worksheet. It's a little cheat sheet, right, of what exactly you need to do. Basically, when you look up a Google search and you're going to look up maybe financial planner near me, or they look up your non-for-profit, right, your website may not show up first, right, because depending on what type of business you are, there can be a lot of competition. But if they're local enough, it's going to actually show up in your, you're going to show up on the profile because it matches your business name. So if I look up your name, right, maybe your Facebook shows up. But if you ever Google My Business, it's your official title there. So I tell her, hey, quite simply, go to Google My Business, follow the steps that are laid out right here, and register your business, okay? This was a 10-minute conversation. I said, just do that first, and let's see what happens. Can you scroll to the next one, please? That's her business. She registered it, and then literally a week later, this is what she says, hey, I just want to let you know that your recommendations helped me. I even booked my first service through Google. That was a week later. already just doing it. So this is the view that you get. So I said, what's the name of your company? Sharp Soul Bowl Healing. Like, okay, on your website, it didn't actually clearly state that, right? You can put it on here. You put what areas you serve, right? Your phone number, when you're open, and about your business. Simple, right? But this is what happened. When someone actually now looks for sound bowl healing, and there's not too many other businesses that are there, guess who pops up? Because you're registered through Google. You telling them, hey, this is what my business does. This is who I am. This is how you can contact me. And on this view, you can have it extended more. You can add photos. You can have posts that go through. So what Sonia mentioned through that other app that you can actually schedule posts through Google, so they can see the same updates on here. This is free. This is completely free, but you have taken the time to make yourself available to people to find you. And a lot of people don't do this. You may think of this of like, oh, I'm trying to look for the nearest, McDonald's, right? That makes sense, right? But it still works for a solo person. I have one, everyone. I encourage anyone at any level in their business. You still need to have this, because you know what happened after she registered this and did a little change on her website? Now when you look up sound bowls and you look up her name, now it's everything. The Google searches her website, her Instagram, her Facebook, because now you have let Google know, hey, this is my business, this is what I do. Right? Very, very simple. Go to the next one. And sorry, guys, I'm going to go really fast, but if you need me to slow down, you just let me know. So here are some of the advantages we talked about. Right? Increased visibility, right? Obviously, you're going to show up on the Google search, but you're going to show up in the map view as well. That little term, near me, is so important when it comes to if you work with local people. I need a financial planner near me. And you said what? You're in the Lutz area?
Newport Richey.
Newport Richey, right? So Newport Richey, hey, I'm looking for a financial planner in Newport Richey. Guess who's going to start showing up in the map view now? You are. You wouldn't have before if you didn't have this on there. So you're going to increase your visibility not only in the search, but also in the map view, because that's important, especially when people use a location-based search. So you're looking for Newport Richey, Tampa, Oldsmore, whatever it is, you will now show up in the map view. It's very important, right? And if you have reviews on there, it'll show on there as well. So think about when you search for something on Google just for yourself, a business. You're looking for the nearest Publix. You're looking for something that, imagine you showing up on there. You have to make yourself available wherever you can. And again, this is free. Free advertising. It's a free tool provided by Google. So you create a listing, promote your business, don't have to pay for anything. You can manage your online business, right? You can manage your business information, your name, your address, your phone number, your website, all in one place. You can add photos, you can add videos, you can have reviews, response to reviews, and Google's the most popular platform for search in the world. So why would you not want to be on there and make yourself available to contact your customer? Now, my big thing is a lot of this is customer experience, right? If you can't make it easy for your customer to call you or get in contact you, why do they want to work with you? Convenience, right? For anything, even for nonprofits or anything. The most annoying thing that happens is you try to get in contact with someone that you're trying to give money to, and you can't do it. If I can't do that for someone, I'm like, I don't want to work with these people. If I have to go out of my way to pay you to do something or to get in touch, I don't want to do it. It's 2023. It's not that hard to get in touch with people. To even make a phone call, to search for a number, you don't have to. It's right there. They want to call, they call. They want to send you a message from there, send a message. A lot of people don't even want to call anymore, right? That's where those chatbots come in very handy, because some people just, let's be honest, they don't want to pick up the phone. They're doing something else. Let's make sure we have the tools to automate to make sure that it's all available to you. Next one, please. Oh, there we go. So insights and analytics. It'll let you know how customers find and interact with your business. You see how many people view your listing, right? How many people visit your website, and how many people call your business. So it's now a very easy and free way to see how people, hey, where am I coming up on search? Where am I coming in? So it's kind of like Google Analytics Lite, right? You don't have to be a data scientist to know what's going on. You can get a pretty broad overview of like, hey, where am I showing up? How many people are calling? You get a good idea. Customer engagement, right? So this is what I mentioned. You can respond to the reviews and answer questions on here, which is always great. I encourage everyone that when you get a review, good or bad, you answer it, always. Because it shows that you care and that you're engaging. That sound good? Any questions on Google My Business? And like I said, on your worksheet, there's a step-by-step-by-step way of how to sign up if you don't have one already. So just follow those steps and you're good to go. It's a very simple process. Yes.
Verification.
Yes. So when you
Real quick.
Yes. So Google does need to know that you are legit and you exist. So there's a couple different ways to verify. One of the common ways is one, it may call your business number, or two, they will send, actually funny, they will mail you a code to the physical address that you list. If you're putting a physical office location, they will mail that to you. And then once you get that in the mail, you go back and you put that verification code in. So it takes a couple days depending on which way you do it. So for instance, when you register a physical location, they're probably going to mail you a letter with a code on there. But if like that, our last example, if you are you travel for your business, like service-based, then they may call you or have whatever you're listing as your business phone number. That's all. Just take that into consideration. It'll take like a couple days for the verification. So we're going to talk about really quick Meta for Business. So I'm sure everyone may be on Facebook on a business page, right, and use the regular Facebook. So Meta for Business is actually a kind of different platform in the sense of this is where all your business happens. So everything will happen here. Now, why are we going to talk about this really quick? When you use a business profile, not only can you obviously create your posts, you can update everything, you get more tools that you can manage all in one place. You have your inbox, your planner, your publishing, your insights. Everything is all in one location. So why does this matter? What does it matter? If we're talking about automating and saving time, do you want to be switching between apps or do you want everything in all in one place? I want everything all in one place, right? And especially with Facebook, you know what happens with a lot of business owners or anyone that has a personal profile and a business, nonprofit, whatever it is, they start to commingle and they forget which page is what. And they're like, I can't find my business page. Or they start answering someone as their personal. Yes, shaking, yep, that happens all the time. They start answering and you're, oh, that was my personal. I want to answer as my business. Let's cut that out. Don't worry about it. Everything can happen from here. So when you answer something in your inbox, a comment, a message, or anything, it's coming from the business. Now, Sonia did mention that there are different platforms that you can use to schedule posts. If you're just focusing, let's say, on Facebook and Instagram, you can schedule straight from here. And it's all free. It's included, right? So you can, if those are your two main ones you want to work out of there, you can plan from there. And then you can see your all-important insights. How are people reacting to the posts I'm putting? How are they watching? How long are they watching my videos? How many people am I reaching? All that information is there. Go ahead, scroll. I probably covered some of these already. Yeah, so like I said, the advantages, central, manage your Facebook and Instagrams from there, all your comments, your messages, your insights and your analytics, super important. We have to make sure we know that. The collaboration. So you mentioned this. As you begin to grow, or if you have multiple people on a team, you don't have to share your personal Facebook login anymore. You add them to your business, and they can now work on it separate. So from a streamlined standpoint, this is very important because one, you can assign tasks in there. You could say, hey, people, can you send this comment? It's all happening in a localized area. You're not sharing any of your personal Facebook, right? Because you never know, someone leaves. You don't want someone to have access to it. It's very easy to manage them through there. Go ahead, go up a little bit more. And this is, for all of these, the most important thing for me, is there is a mobile app. And there's one for my business and there is one for the Meta Business Suite, right? Which manages on the go. You can still do everything that I just mentioned from your phone. And I cannot stress why that's important. Because if you can manage most of your business from your phone, your life is going to be easier. I can manage even my clients currently 60% of the time from my phone, from the systems that I have now put in place. If someone's like, hey, we need to respond to something, I can respond through my phone, wherever I am. Do I need we need to update a graphic? I can do that because I use a Canva, so it's in the cloud, I can do that. I put all my documents for them in a Dropbox, a G Drive. Everything is all mobile, and these systems were put in place because now, no matter where I am, I can do that for them. So they don't have to wait. So it's a good customer experience for them because they're getting their service quickly. And that is most of the time why people continue to work with me, right? Because their customer experience is so good. I answer the phone, I get them what they need quickly. Everyone knows if you can do that, you're golden, right? Especially when you need to stand out. So if you have all these systems in place, you're going to have a very good customer experience right off the bat. You're going to have a good impression for them, and they'll continue to work for you because look at all the convenience, right? You have to think about the experience for them. And one little bonus thing before we get in there. So, we talked about, using tools that are available, especially like we talked about AI or anything like that. All these points were all written by AI. Everything that was in here.
He just wanted to do that.
I did. You know why? Because it just shows, right, that we can do things so
It's
much
very
faster.
mind-opening, though, like when you say that.
So I said, I mentioned ChatGPT, right? So it's basically an AI chatbot, right? You type in, hey, can you do this? Can you get me this? And it'll do it. And it's gotten better, scary better in a short amount of time. But for what would be a mundane task of like, okay, I can look up these and do everything. I said, hey, can you just show up? Because it's perfect, right? Can you show me the steps of signing up for Google My Business? Sure. Boom, boom, boom. I tweak it, take a little bit out of there, and that's it, right? So even creating something like this that would be a long task just got a lot shorter. Why? So I can focus on what are the main things that I need to present to you so you have a good experience, not get boggled down in trying to sit here and write it myself. It all kind of comes together. See what the next thing is there. Okay, so kind of touched on it. Brand messaging, right? So brand messaging is designed to create consistent, memorable brand identity. It resonates with customers and makes your business stand out from its competitors, right? So that includes your tagline, your mission statement, the language used in your materials of customer service interaction, and your posts. Everything that we talked about today through these all need to be cohesive, right? So you want to make sure that your Google My Business, any of your posts all fit your brand messaging. And if you are very focused on making sure that your customer experience is a good one, it needs to be across all of these platforms. So pick very carefully which ones you're going to be on, which ones you're going to focus on, and do them well. Don't try to be everywhere. Let's just focus on the big ones. Google's a big one, Meta's a big one, right? Let's be on there and do those well, and your customers will have a very good experience. Right? And so, again, consistency and brand messaging across these channels is essential to build a strong brand identity and create a cohesive customer experience. And especially if you're a smaller thing, my business is essentially me, so I need to make sure that my brand stands out wherever I go, that I have a good experience, whether you're meeting me digitally online or you're in person, which I will mention right now. Go ahead. So, the easier your customer interact, engage, and contact your brand, the quicker the sale, right? So I am in digital marketing. I need to be, I need to feel like I am ahead of everywhere. I need to be well polished. I need to do it in marketing, right? That's essentially. So even when it comes to my online profiles, you want to contact me, you can do it through a chat, you can do it through email. Usually I do those because it's easier for me instead of a phone call. So I push a messaging first, texting first, chatbot first, because it's easier on my schedule, because my day I could be on the phone with clients or anything like that, so it's hard for me to pick up the phone necessarily right then and there. But I still want my potential customers to have a good experience, so I set those up. And even now what I've changed is in a live thing. So you know what I was really bad at? I was bad at business cards. Terrible at them. I would have them, I would forget to refill them, I go, this doesn't work. And I'm not a print guy, I'm a digital guy. So I switched to, which I'm sure you're seeing, is a digital card. So this is my business card. There's nothing to it, right? But basically, when I come up to you, I put this under your phone, it's going to open up an NFC tag, so near field communication. So basically, if you have with Google Pay or Apple Pay, it's the same kind of technology. It opens it up. Now, why am I doing this? Do I just want to seem fancy? Maybe. But what happens is when they open this on their phone, go ahead and scroll up. I say, hey, pick out your phone. I put this under their phone. And this is what opens, right? I go, hey, you want to save my contact? Go ahead, click that button right there. You want to shoot me an email? Go right there. You want to give me a call? You want to go to our website? You want to see my social? You can add, if you need to take payments, you can add payments on here. So basically what I'm doing is making their life so much easier, right? Instead of this paper card that now I have on the table, I have to all right, write this down, whatever. I just made their life easier.
How do you get one of those? I've seen those before.
So this is from a company called Dot. There are many different companies, but basically you order it. It's a custom order. So this card is $20. That's it. It's $20. Don't lose it. But it's $20, and they will embed the NFC information on here. So for people with an older phone, which I kind of like the best, is sometimes it doesn't work. You kind of try to scan it, it may work. It has a QR code. You just tell them, hey, open your camera, and it'll scan the QR code, and it'll open this. And most of the time when people do this, they love it. First of all, Dot owes me money because I've probably sold it now so many times. But the thing is, it's obviously at the end of it, I want them to just have my contact, right? But it opens up an extra conversation because they're impressed. Because I want to make their life easier. So right from there, I have an automation, right? This is set up. Once it's set up, it's done. It's in here. I don't have to do anything else. I don't have to go print more. I don't have to do anything. But now I can go, hey, here's your stuff. Yeah, this is great. Talk about the card a little bit, and I talk about this. Now I'm opening up a conversation like, hey, by the way, just go ahead, save that content. And they're in there. And it's now a website. So they don't have to go through, they stick the old car in their pocket, they left it in their car, they're like, man, I don't know where it is. It's on their phone.
They have to get one of these now.
It's on their phone, right? So, but this is, again, it's little things like these that you have systems put in place that I want to make the customer experience better and easier for them. So why not take the time to learn, right, these tools, these ideas, and once you have that foundation set up, then you can really focus on scaling the business and focus on getting more customers because you have these systems in place. Is there any questions on this stuff really quick? Okay. So that's all I have for that portion. So if you all had any follow, are there any questions on, there seems like one chat on there. There we go. Thank you, Bree. So, like I said, in this worksheet, especially you say you don't have a Google My Business, follow these directions just from there. Same thing with the Meta. I would really look into there, get away, set up these systems in place. If you have any other questions, you signed up for the email, you can contact Sonia. We can help and follow up with any of these any questions that you may have. But just really, again, I just hope from today that you get from what Sonia was talking about and everything when we talk about having systems in place, having the automation, look for things that are going to make your life better, easier, but also help potential customers make their life easier. And the tools are there. It's just a matter of taking the time to find the ones that fit for you. And I promise you, even if you have to pay for some, they will pay for themselves in spades. Because even for systems that I pay for, I think about, well, how much am I trying to make an hour? What's my time worth in an hour? It's worth knowing, even if you don't work hourly. How much is my time worth? Do I want to spend an hour doing this, or do I want to pay $50? Because my time may be $200 an hour, if that's what I'm trying to get to. It's worth it, right? It's worth to have these tools set in place. So just look at it that way when you think about any of these systems and you're investigating which ones may work for me. How is this? It's going to cost me money, but is it going to save me time? Because your time is much more valuable than $50 a month, right? Yeah. Okay.
We have a couple of companies that join us on our Zoomies. We have JC Defeats, Defeat X Adventure Company. All social media handles are under JC Defeats or Defeat X Co. And we also had Bree with BE's creative team, Be Efficient Solutions. She's also one of our Simply Pros here and helps our clients with branding, visual branding, creating a guideline. So if somebody says, hey, I want to share your logo and things, you actually have a sheet you can forward and go, here is everything, my colors, my text, my logos. It's very valuable. Think guidelines, right? Like what he's saying, put everything in its own compartment. So if somebody asks you something, you're out on the road, sure, no problem. You can just share that Google folder.
Yeah.
God, that felt good. Yeah, one little step, one little bite at a time. We eat a hippo one bite at a time.
I mean, especially the more you can do from your phone, it's just going to make your life so much easier. I really do promise you. I mean, I really do a lot from there. And, I have my own business. I have my own, I have kids, right? Young kids and everything. And sometimes I'm answering stuff with them crawling over me, but I can still do it instead of like, hold on, let me go over to the laptop, start it over. No, I can just, if it's something I can just share really quick. And usually that's all it is. Quick question. Hey, can you send me this and everything? Have the systems in place. Now, I didn't learn, I've been doing this since my business since 2016. So I'm not going to claim that I had this all set from day one. But, the years of doing this, and this is what I love to tell people about, it's just there are so many systems. If you take the time to find the ones that work for you, it will make your life easier and it'll be more enjoyable because you can take care of it right then and there and not have to procrastinate, right? Or say like, oh, I got to get to this. No, just do it right now. You can do it right now wherever you are.
I'm gonna make a video of that breathing and be like, something breathing down your neck.
Yes.
Well, I got that one.
Did you?
Good.
Good, I'm glad.
So if there's any other questions or anything, you can ask us, but not, we
Yeah.
thank you for joining us today. We really do appreciate it. We hope that you got something out of it, even if it's one or two things that you feel like can, propel you in the right direction. And if you need a follow-up or anything like that, or you have some follow-up questions that may strike you later, just contact us. We're more than happy to help.
Thank you.
And you
Thank
guys
you.
any questions online or in person? Thank you guys so much. Sorry.